Good morning, guys. Today I'm gonna meet up with my boy Kazuki. You guys saw him in my DRT video that I made a couple weeks ago. We're gonna meet back up with him. We're gonna do a video, but before that, we gotta go. We're gonna go back to the hookup, go back to the house, and then we're gonna go meet up with KZ. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Now that's sick. They got an entire working class 0 spot now. They have the Citizen 6 and the Citizen 7, so that's super dope. And they have the hookup tackle and working class 0 travel boards. I think that's awesome.
Did you throw one of those, dude?
What do you have to say about these new baits?
The Monkas?
Yep.
So, I just came back from Japan. You know, the crawler style bait is by far the most popular style bait right now in Japan. All the manufacturers are racing to create a crawler. And the crawler that's basically regarded as the one to try to beat is the Monka crawler. So, if you talk to any of the swim bait guys over there, you know, your DRTs or Roma Maids or any of that, Monka is the one that everybody wants to try to be. So I met with these guys, wanted to learn their story, see how they made the baits, and they're just super cool dudes, couple of, like skater rock and roll guys that basically just love trophy bass fishing. They're artists. They hand make every piece of these. It's all done in Fukushima, Japan. Every component is made in Japan, and they're not willing to sacrifice any kind of quality, on their baits. So it's a true JDM bait all the way, to the blades, to the split rings, even to the packaging. So like all their, custom boxes and everything made in Japan, right? So, they come with that handmade, JDM price tag, but it's truly a work of art, and it catches fish, it's the best fish catching crawler on the market. So if you're into this style bait, this is definitely the one to have. And we're having to make them in some really cool US patterns like trout and bluegill, and a matte white with like a cool crack back and a matte black. So, we're trying to get colors that are going to look badass, but are also going to get bit too. So definitely check those guys out. We got them priced super aggressive, trying to reposition them in the market. So yeah, give them a look.
They're on your website, right?
They are online, so you can check them out at thehookuptackle.com, or certainly come in here and touch them. And if you want to put them in the tank and crawl them around, let's do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Huge shout out to the Hookup Tackle for always having me. It's always great talking to Ben. He's a great guy, runs an absolutely fantastic store. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you guys wanted to check out the store online. You guys should also, if you're in the Valley, come check it out. It's a super dope store. A lot of great products, a lot of new things that a lot of people haven't seen, especially when it comes down to the JDM stuff. So if you're really into JDM baits and you want to see them up close and in person, come out here to the Hookup Tackle and check them out. It's a place to be. All right, so we got to go to the house, pick up a few things from there, then we got to drive, meet up with my boy KZ, and we'll shoot the rest of the video. We'll see you there.
Put that down. We are going to need these. Here, let's go.
So, made it to Casey's house, and we just really wanted to talk about the DRT, the varial handles, other handles that can come with reels instead of just the standard regular, handles that come with like the Calcutta. So there's a huge difference from just like a standard handle to an upgraded handle. So on the bigger swim bait reels, they normally will come with like 100 size handle or like a 95. But a lot of times they don't feel as solid, or the knobs are just, they aren't as good quality as something that you would upgrade to. And so DRT has made these varial handles, and these varial handles, they come in quite a few different sizes from like 87 to 117.
117.
Yeah, so they make a wide variety of different sizes, and most standard size is about 100 when it comes down to the swim bait reels. We got a few here that we're going to show you guys real quick. First one out the gate, this is just a Daiwa aftermarket handle that they make. It's only $50, and honestly it's a pretty solid handle. I like it for what I have. Obviously I'd rather have a varial handle than it, but it works for the time being. And it's solid, it's 100 millimeters, it fits really nice on this Z200. And the Z200, it comes with the 95 millimeter handle, and when I first got this reel I didn't have a 100 millimeter handle on it, and it kind of felt off. Like I didn't feel like I had a lot of power when I fought fish. And just that 5 millimeters, it honestly gives you a lot more power. It makes you feel like you have complete control over either fighting a fish or you're working a bait, and it's a big difference. You might not think of it, like it's only 5 millimeters, it's not that big of a difference, but in hands and when you're feeling it and you're fighting fish and you're working your baits, you actually really feel it. So it's a nice upgrade. Like I said, you can find those pretty much anywhere from Tackle Warehouse to the Hookup Tackle. They have them for only $50. Now the higher end, you have the Studio Composites.
Studio Composite makes different sizes, so I think it starts from 88 up to 108 millimeter. And what I have right here on a Tatula, this is 95 millimeter. What makes them so special, powerful, is that the knob. So here's the stock knob, stock handles with stock knobs. So the lengthwise, it's 90 millimeter, 95. But you can see the knob compared to this. You have this much size to grip on when you're using this type of handle. Mostly what you're doing is pinching it instead of holding gripping it in your hand. So
there's not much to hold on to.
On my 400 Conquest, I got 108 millimeter Studio Composite handle. So mainly I use this one to crank down the Ghost, or like something that like you really have to put your power in, but you don't want to get tired burning it. So this one's 117 millimeter, offers better leverage, but for me the Studio Composite has a better shape of handle knob, so I can just grip onto it. I like using this handle for the Ghost or bigger baits that has like a lot of resistance. For this one, 117 millimeter, you get so much leverage. So handles being so long that you could tell like I really had to move my whole arm to like crank this thing fast. So right now I'm using this for soft baits, like where I kind of like slow reel or like slow retrieve, steady.
So there's a lot of different variances to the handle sizes, what they're used for. With the varial handles, that I think that me and him both like is the customization that you can do with the handles. So right now on mine I have the fat knobs. I think you have the fat knobs too.
Yep.
The fat knobs is pretty much what the name implies, that they're fatter than the typical standard knobs that come with the varial handle. So these are just the normal knobs. They are quite a bit thinner around the base area. So those are just like the standard knobs. I know that you have the J knobs, right?
Yeah. So the J knob is the standard knob that came with 117. So it's about same size. and it feels different. I think J knobs somewhat slipperier than the fat knob.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the fat knobs they designed to when the knob gets wet, like kind of like they designed to like for the handle to get
grippier.
grippier.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's just a few different ways that you can have your handle set up, whether it's with knobs or even the wheels. I mean, you got some wheels there too. You got different ones. I mean, they come in, quite a few different colors. Some are made for just the regular, some are for the J knob. So there's a lot of customizing when it comes down to the varial handles, which I think a lot of people like. You have, different options from, Daiwa makes these for 50. You have the Studio Composites that are under 150. And then you have the varial handles that I think all sizes are 200. So obviously a lot of people will see, or what I see online a lot of times, like, yo, $200 for a handle? And it's like, yeah, they're expensive. Some people that are getting into swim baits, whatever, they see $200 just for a handle and they think it's kind of ridiculous. But to me and KZ, we have these reels and we use the crap out of them. These handles that come with these reels, they're okay. They'll do just the job just fine. But sometimes when you do upgrade and you get it in your hand, you're like, okay, no, there's no way I'm going back to that.
And it looks sick too. Like,
cool.
Kind of gets you going. I'm like, oh shit, like my, it's like almost like pimp my ride.
Right? Yeah, pimp my ride. So it's like just the customization of the varial handles is what gives it such a great appeal and what a lot of people like about it. Now, there's obviously other companies out there. I know Hogtech is a US company. Also have ZPI, I believe. ZPI has some. So there's quite a few different variations of handles out there. Honestly, if you guys have the money, I'd try just the standard basic one out and see how you like an upgrade of handles. I upgraded, like I said, $50 upgrade, and this reel feels 1,000 times better just because of that.
If you can spend $100 on baits, you might as well invest tackle first. Investing in tackles, you'll stay almost like forever.
Yep.
As long as you keep maintaining, it's gonna last you forever.
When it comes down to the gear, we're throwing these big baits. There's a lot of stress on the reels themselves, and not just the reels, but you got to go to the handles. So like you said, when I'm fighting a fish and it's a bigger grade fish, there's a lot of stress going on. And after a while, the stock handles, they're okay, but they're not great quality like a varial handle or like a Studio Composite, where after a while, you fight enough bigger grade fish and things will start to bend out, and eventually it's going to give out and it's going to break, and so you're going to have to replace it anyway. My buddy Scott Strong, he did a video on the varial handles. He explains how you even change out the knobs, because it's actually, from how it looks, you would think that you would just buy this and you're good to go. No, there's actually like a rod in here that you have to take out. You have to get these wheels too. So I'll leave a link to Scott's video about the varial handle down in the description below if you guys wanted to check it out. That's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for letting me come by the crib. And go out there and chase your guys' dreams.